Hi guys, welcome back. I hope everyone has a great Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm on campus currently, and some people told me to record a few videos for cost management. I know you guys have an exam coming up, so what I did was I solved the questions that came in the midterm and end term, and I'll be uploading these videos so that you can refer to the questions. Hopefully, similar kind of questions will be coming in the remedial paper as well. So let's get started with the question number 2 from your end term paper. Um, Let me share the screen. So what I've done is I've taken screenshots. So this question number 2. Let's read the question first. Okay, here is the question. So it's a question on the flexible budgeting. Mm, yeah. So it says that Sarv Elementary School had a total of 150 students consisting of 5 sections with 30 students per section. The school plans for a picnic around the city during the weekend and also places such as zoo, amusement park, planetarium, etc. A private transport operator has come forward to lease out the buses for taking the students. Each bus will have a maximum capacity of 50, excluding two seats reserved for teachers. The school will employ two teachers for each bus, paying them an allowance of 50 rupees per teacher. It leaves out the number of buses, and these are the following cost estimates. Okay, so these are the as you know, there are three kinds of cost. One is your variable cost, which is variable for every unit. um, so for every additional unit you have to pay that variable cost. Semi variable cost are costs that are fixed up to a certain limit, and then after that it increases again for up to another limit. So here, in case the bus tickets, so you take the bus for 50 units is the same, again for the next 50 units is the same. So that is a semi variable cost. And fixed cost are those costs which are fixed irrespective of the number of people that go, so that doesn't change. So basically what you have to do is classify all these costs into buckets of variable, semi variable, and fixed costs. Okay, so here it says that cost per student. So breakfast per student, lunch per student, tea per student, entrance fee per student. So these are all my variable costs. Rent of 650 is per bus, so this semi variable cost. Rent is also semi variable cost. Block entrance fee at the planetarium, it says consolidated, so I'm assuming that it's the fixed cost. So irrespective of number of people that go, the prices for student and block entrance fee to 250 is same for all the students. Done. So now that this is done, what I will do is it also says that no cost are incurred except the 50 rupees allowance that was mentioned over here, right? Prepare a flexible budget estimating the cost levels for 30, 60, 90, and 120 and 150 students each. Each item of cost can be classified based on the behavior of the cost. So here behavior means the variable, semi-variable, and fixed cost. So let's do this first. So what I've done is created an annexure here. So this is basically 150 students, 5 sections. So 30 students per section. Bus capacity is 50 and excluding two teachers. Teachers per bus is 2 and allowance per teacher is 50. Now variable cost, as it was mentioned, there was 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 3 rupees, and 2 rupees. So total variable cost is 20 rupees. So these four are done: 5, 10, 3, and 2. Next is so it's 20 rupees per student is the variable cost. Semi variable cost, what do we have? One is your bus rent, which is very semi variable. So for 50 students, for I've calculated basically per bus. So per bus, the rate is 650 rupees per bus. Special permit 50 rupees. So it's said over here 50 rupees per bus. So it's 50 rupees per bus, and every bus is two teachers. It's the number of teachers is variable on the number of buses. So each bus will have. So here it says the school will employ two teachers for each bus. So it's variable on the number of buses and not students. Okay, so teacher allowance is 50 rupees into 2, so two teachers per bus. So it's 800 rupees per bus is the semi variable cost, and fixed cost is 250 for the entrance and prices 50 to 50. So these are my three notes. Now what I'll do is, let's create a flexible budget. So flexible budget is basically a statement where, based on the number of students, so if you create a budget for every level. So here, the number of student level was given as 30, 60, 90, 120 and 150. Now, for the first part, variable cost. So variable cost is very simple. It's just number of students multiplied by the variable cost. So what I'll do over here is I've created another note. So variable cost per student. So I've already shown the variable cost per student here. So it's 20 rupees per student. So what I'll do is I'll put 20 over here and just copy this everywhere. I'm doing it on Excel. I'm not sure whether for you guys you'll do it in Excel or on pen and paper mode, but you can keep the format the same. Right. So variable cost is 20 rupees per student. Semi-variable cost is again per bus. So let's say here we have cost per bus. So semi-variable cost, what I've done is I've calculated the cost per bus, which was here, which is 800 rupees. I'll fix this and then I'll drag it over to all the cells. So it's 800 rupees per bus. To fix this, I've done F2 and then done F4. That will fix the values. Okay. I'm not going to do the details with Excel. I'll share the sheet with you so that you can go through the sheet as well. Number of buses required. So what I'll do over here using Excel is that, so you can manually see that, okay, it's 30 people. So one bus is required. It's 60 people. So two buses will be required because one can fit only 50 people. 90 will be again two buses. 120 will be three buses. 150 will also be three buses. So what I'll do is I'll use a formula called round up. So what I'll be doing is, so if I directly divide it by 50, um, so I know that it can't be rounded down because you have to fit everyone. So what roundup function does is, in case of a decimal variable, so if I do 30 by 50, it'll give you the answer 0.6. If I use round up, it'll do is it'll round up every value. So if I get 30 by 50 is 0.6, it'll round it up to 1. If I do 90 by 50, it'll come to 1.4, 1.8. That'll round it up to 2 and so on. Okay, so what I'll do is equal to round up and then I'll do 30 by 50. So 30 divided by 50, because I know 50 people are fit in the bus, and then comma 0 will, which will round it up to the nearest decimal place. Okay, so here you can see it's 1, then for the rest it will be 1 2 2 3 3, which is fine because for 60 people I need 2, for 120 people I need 3. Correct. So now that I have that, uh, I got the semi variable costs. For the fixed cost is again fixed for every person. So fixed cost is again 500, and I'll fix that by F4 and then I'll drag it over. Simple. Now, now that all these annexures are finished, what I will do again here is, in the variable cost will be equal to number of students multiplied by variable cost per student. So 20 rupees into number of students. Now I'm using a formula because I can just drag it or copy the formula to all the cells. That way it's, even if I change the values over here, it will work. Semi variable cost is simple. It's just cost per bus into number of buses. Again, I'll drag this, and fixed cost is fixed irrespective of the number of students. So I'll just drag it again. Okay. Now total cost will be the sum of all these things. So once I do the sum, you can see that this is how the total cost is increasing. So this will be your answer number 1, flexible budget. Please make sure you make a note of, so this is like note 1, note 2, note 3, and given notes. So this is a better presentation because the people who are checking, they can track which note is where. So it's important to give a note reference. So this is the first part, flexible budget. For the second part is compare the average cost per student at these levels. This is again very easy. So you have the total cost and you divide it by the number of students. So the number of students is here. So you can see if you drag this formula again here, uh, you can see the total cost per student. Again, if you're doing it in pen paper mode, then it will be a little more difficult with the calculations and manually doing it. But because I have Excel, I'm using this so that it's easier for everyone. Okay. Now the third question that was given was, what will be your conclusion regarding the break-even level if the school proposes to collect 45 rupees? Now here what it says that make suitable ranges for computing break even. Now the ranges, whenever in case of these questions where there is a semi variable cost, the ranges is basically based on the semi variable the ranges where the semi variable cost is constant. So here my range will be 1 student to 50 student, then sorry, so 1 to 50 will be my first range, 51 to 100 would be second range, 100 and 100 to 150 would be the third range. Now that is done. Now here you can see, uh, so basically they are saying that they are recovering. So the question was that they are recovering 45 rupees per student. So I can write 45, 45, 45. Now what I can do, because I have Excel, so you can add more columns over here, but because I have Excel, what I can do is if I put 50 over here, I can see the cost per student. So the cost per student becomes 46. So 46 over here. Um, if I put 100 over here, cost becomes 41. And I already have 150 over here, which is 39.33. 39.33. I'll make this 30 again. So here you can see that because the cost per student is 46 and the recovery is only 45, this is not viable. Okay, this is viable and viable. So your answer would be that in case of 50 students, it is not viable, but in case of more than 50 students, it is viable. So you can break it up into 3 ranges and do a table like this to show whether it's viable or not. Correct? Because for every student you're recovering 45, but the cost per student incurring that you're incurring is 46, so it's not viable. Okay. So these are the 3 parts that you were required to do. So this is the first question, and I hope you understood this. I'll also share the Excel sheet after I complete recording all the videos, so that it's easier for you to follow. And maybe if an Excel sheet comes, you can use the template um, for your questions as well. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll be posting more videos like these, and I'll also share a sheet where so wait, let me just share one more thing. So while I was finding the solution for this, I also found a document which has more questions like these. So I'll share that as well, so that you can refer to that for like questions. So one second, I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so this is the document. As you can see here, um, this is for CA intermediate, but you'll get a formula sheet over here which will help you revise. So these are this is for budgeting. You can do these questions. So in case of flexible budget, so if I, let's say, type flexible, I think it does not let you search like that. So the question that I just solved, you can see this is the flexible budget question. You can solve these questions. The answers are given over here, so once you solve, you can also try and figure out whether your answers are matching or not. I'll just show you. See, this is the question. So this is the exact same question, Vivekananda Primary School. Okay, and it's just exact same question, just 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 3 rupees, 2 rupees, 65, 50, 50. So everything just 10 rupees has been like 1 0 has been eliminated. So you can see it's the same question, 50, 10, 30, 20. So I think you can practice some questions from here that will help you clear the concepts since you have time right now. I'll also share this paper. Um, okay. So best of luck. I'll be recording more videos and uploading. Okay. Bye bye.